Shocking moments caught at Target stores, Part 1. In this video, a woman films herself talking to a man in a Target store. It's unclear what they are talking about, but then the woman points the camera at him and asks if he remembers talking to her before. The man instantly starts running out of the Target.
Stop that guy! Call the cops! Call the cops on him! Call the cops!
The woman chases him out yelling for people to stop him and call the police. She chases him all the way out to the parking lot, and he gets in his car and leaves. The woman said that she had seen the man in the Target before, and he had asked her super inappropriate questions that made her feel very uncomfortable.
That was what was going through my head, was just I had to get his face, I had to get something on him to put him out there and catch this guy.
Tsutomu Yamaguchi was preparing to leave Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, when the US dropped a nuke in the city. He drove into a ditch and ended up surviving the blast. After that, he made his way home to Nagasaki, where 3 days later a second nuke exploded, less than 2 miles from his home. He survived, and he is recognized as the only person to survive both of the fatal blasts. In January 1942, during World War II, Walt Disney came to Washington and met with civil defense and chemical warfare officials. Disney wanted to show the progress of a gas mask he was working on. With large glass eyes, a snout, and big round ears, the mask was shaped like Disney's signature character, Mickey Mouse. It was meant to calm terrified children. The Sagamihara Massacre. In July 2016, Satoshi Uematsu used a hammer to break into a care center in Japan. He tied up a staff member, took his keys, and then went from room to room, killing with a knife 19 disabled people. He then turned himself in at the Sukui police station, 2 hours after the incident. He declared, for them, it made no sense to live, it had to be done for the good of society. Uematsu was sentenced to death by the Yokohama District Court. Worst deaths in history, Part 3. Grigory Rasputin was the mystical advisor in the court of Emperor Nicholas II of Russia. Due to his influence over the royal family, some Russian nobles planned to murder him. He was initially poisoned, but he appeared to be unaffected even after several cups of poisoned wine. Surprised, one of the conspirators shot him once in the chest. Rasputin, still alive, attacked his aggressor before being shot a second time, beaten, wrapped, and dropped into a frozen river, where he eventually died. People disappeared into another dimension. Part 2. James E. Tedford boarded a bus in St. Albans, where he had been visiting family. He was taking the bus to Bennington, where he lived in a retirement home. 14 passengers saw Tedford on the bus, sleeping in his seat, after the last stop before Bennington. What doesn't make sense is that when the bus arrived in Bennington, Tedford was nowhere to be seen. All his belongings were still on the luggage rack. 3 mysterious books no one can explain. Number 3. The Voynich Manuscript. It's a roughly 250-page book written in some kind of code that no one could crack for decades. It's rife with illustrations of various herbs, animals, people, astrology, and maps. Number 2. The Book of Soiga. It's a book about magic. It is written in Latin and talks of demons, astrology, spells, and angels. The actual contents and significance of the tables in the book remain mysterious. Number 1. The Rohank Codex. It's an illustrated manuscript book by an unknown author, with a text in an unknown language and writing system full of cartoonish illustrations depicting various religious and combat scenes. Hamilton Howard, Albert, Fish was an American serial killer, child rapist, and cannibal. Known also as the Brooklyn Vampire, he was used to send letters to his victims' parents to tell them how good their children tasted. In one of these letters he said, "I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to my rooms, cook and eat it." Real bees were used during the making of the 90s horror trilogy, Candyman. Over the course of the 3 films, actor Tony Todd got stung 23 times. He was paid an extra $1,000 for every sting. Was that enough? In 1984, comedian and actor Tommy Cooper died of a heart attack on stage, during an act. The audience continued to laugh and claps as he struggled to breathe, thinking it was part of the show. You can find the entire video of this horrible death on YouTube. Optical illusions that prove your brain sucks. If you stare at the center of the grid, the crazy peripheries begin to fix themselves. Move closer to the screen and you'll see the white shade in the middle explode in luminance. This spiral is actually a series of concentric circles. Run your finger along the spiral and see if you can run the length of it. 3 dark secrets about SpongeBob SquarePants. Patrick is the son of Herb and Margie Starr, and brother of Sam Starr, while Gary is the son of Sluggo and an unrevealed mother. This means that Patrick and Gary are first cousins. Mr. Krabs is the only crab in Bikini Bottom, and the Krusty Krab is shaped exactly like a crab trap. Bikini Bottom is a reference to Bikini Atoll, an American nuclear test site. Don't swipe right. 26-year-old Warriena Wright from New Zealand met Gable Testi on Tinder. A week later, the two met up and went on a date, which led to the couple going to Testi's apartment. Once there, the two got into an argument, and Testi allegedly choked Wright and locked her outside on his balcony. Apparently, Wright tried to escape and fell off the balcony to her death. At the age of 14, George Stinney Jr. was the youngest person ever sentenced to death in the United States. He was executed by electric chair for the murder of 2 white girls. 70 years later, his innocence was proven by a judge in South Carolina. 10-second creepy fact. On May 31, 2014, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, 2 12-year-old girls lured their best friend Peyton Leutner into the woods and stabbed her 19 times, in an attempt to become proxies of the fictional character Slender Man. Disturbing things caught in churches. This 2017 video shows a French church in the middle of a seemingly normal Christian celebration. In the center of the church, we can see 3 priests, one of whom is busy leading the celebration, consecrating the Eucharist. However, as he prays and places his hands over the host, something very strange happens in front of everyone's eyes. The bread seems to inexplicably levitate for a while under the priest's hands.
In this video, a car pulls up to a stop sign and makes a full stop. A man starts to wheel his bike out in front of the car, but then he throws the bike against the front of it and acts as though he's just been hit. Another man is nearby and acts as though he saw the car hit the man with the bike. Suddenly, the car flicks its police lights on. The car is an unmarked vehicle being used by an undercover cop. The officer gets out and arrests both of the scammers. If this isn't an example of insta-karma, then I don't know what is.
Disturbing things caught by Twitch streamers. In this 2020 Twitch clip, 3 Twitch streamers are peacefully walking around New York when suddenly, a random guy in a white sweatshirt approaches them. The stranger claims he wants to be their friend and hang out with them.
No, I just want to hang out. It's gonna help me out.
But the streamers find the interaction very weird and ask him if there's something wrong.
What do you need?
But otherwise, we're just trying to move, man. Yeah, I don't know you. I'm good.
The man doesn't give explanations and asks the streamers if he can at least follow them in silence.
Just trust me, I won't talk to you, I'll just follow you around.
Confused, the streamers continue on their way while the strange guy follows them along. Eventually, the whole situation ends with a very funny statement from the guy.
Oh wow.
Are these guys bothering you? Are they bothering you?
Oh no, these are my friends.
Okay, I'm just trying to protect you from the weirdos, you know.
Disturbing things caught by drones. In this 2020 drone footage, a man is piloting his drone down a supposedly hunted road during the daytime, hoping to attract the attention of whatever's out there. Suddenly, a mysterious clown comes out of nowhere walking down the road, and tries to hit the drone with a rock. At this point, the drone flies out of range and the clown takes off hiding in the bushes. After a while, the clown steps out for an ambush and tries to throw another rock at the drone, before vanishing one last time into the bushes. Don't watch these creepy videos if you are at home alone. This scary video shows a girl recording a friend playing the drum in the basement when she suddenly captures something terrifying on camera.
Michelle's getting like really good at
This creepy video shows a woman and her daughter in the living room having a normal time, unaware that something is staring at them from the closet. This clip shows a woman adjusting some Halloween decorations, only to be met with a disturbing ending a few moments later. Disturbing things found in the forest. In this 2020 footage, the YouTuber Alicia the Explorer is inside a rented cabin in the woods filming a video with his boyfriend. All of a sudden, her partner sees something strange passing by the cabin while he's filming Alicia through the window.
Somebody in there with you? The fuck?
A mysterious figure in robes shows up and walks behind Alicia, but when she looks back, the figure just disappears. Disturbing things caught on Uber drivers' cameras. In this 2018 Uber footage, an Uber driver was conducting a seemingly normal day at work, unaware that he was just being made out an unwilling getaway driver by his current passengers. In fact, the passengers had just gone through a bank heist and used the poor Uber driver to flee the scene. Fortunately, the driver became soon aware of the situation and began to livestream the incident on Facebook, which was later used by the FBI for their search. Terrifying things caught at hospitals. This 2020 hospital footage shows an employee inside a hospital's laboratory while minding his own business with the rotary evaporators. Suddenly, one of the jars of distillate inexplicably falls off the table, breaking on the floor. Upon noticing the broken jar, the employee leaves the room to tell his supervisor about what just happened. Not amused with what he's witnessing, the supervisor dismisses the employee, who leaves the room in anger. Shortly after, another employee arrives in the room to clean the spilled distillate when suddenly, another jar appears to inexplicably move on its own towards the end of the table. Disturbing things caught on planes. Thanks to an exclusive GoPro clip, this crash was filmed from within their seats.
What we want to show you is the kind of camera it was shot on. It's called a GoPro camera, and it is a remarkable video. Take a look.
A small passenger plane made its crash landing on the way to Hawaii, landing in the water as everyone got free and hung onto parts of the plane to keep safe. This clip gives an unparalleled point of view of an ongoing plane crash, unlike anything most people will see, without the terror of actually dealing with it. Disturbing things found by YouTubers. In this 2016 video, this YouTuber and his crew are going down into a cave for urban exploration. The guys begin by descending into the large entrance of the cave, and as they proceed deeper and deeper, things began to get colder to the point they can see their breath. Suddenly, right at the end of a very narrow passage, the crew runs into a crying and scared girl in the dark, who doesn't seem to speak English.
She doesn't speak English.
Thankfully, the group brings the lost girl with them and reunites her with her parents. Disturbing moments caught on live TV. In this 2015 live footage, a journalist is reporting live from a bug exhibit at the Museum of National History. He and his crew decide to make the story more interesting by putting a large exotic moth on his vest before the beginning of the broadcast. As the broadcast begins, the bug crawls up the reporter's neck and cozies up next to his ear, seemingly biting him. In reality, the reporter's ear had not been bitten by the moth, but rather used as a deposit for 2 eggs, that were luckily discovered before they hatched. Disturbing things caught by drones. In this 2015 drone footage, several officials in hazmat suits are on the bank of a river in Poland, performing some unknown functions. Suddenly, 4 of them appear to be lifting something pretty heavy from the ground. As they move towards the paramedics with their mysterious finding, a huge fishtail can be seen poking out from behind, suggesting a monstrous sea creature. The hazmat people then return to the water's edge before climbing back up the hill and helping push the stretcher away, out of view. Disturbing things found in the forest. In this 2020 footage, a YouTuber named Lil Goofy is exploring some trails with his friend, when they suddenly notice that they've been followed the whole time by a mysterious man. In the beginning, the man apparently waves hello to them, but a better look reveals that the stalker is waving around something sharp instead.
Is that a knife, bro?
As the guys realize the danger, the man starts chasing them, fortunately without succeeding. Disturbing things found in the forest. In this 2017 footage, a man is in the woods grabbing a video, claiming that he's able to communicate with some sort of mysterious forest creatures who seem to come out only after a rainy day. He sits under a tree and talks for quite some time, and just when it seems like nothing creepy or unsettling is ever going to take place in these woods, this happens.
Oh, there he is. Okay. It's there.
Disturbing things caught in churches. In this 2017 footage, the members of a congregation in Peru are happily singing in their church, unaware that something horrifying is about to happen. During the sermon, in fact, the camera starts recording some locusts moving around on the walls. While at first this doesn't look like a real issue, the locusts soon become thousands of thousands, invading the whole church, and covering every surface. To Traumatized Children, Part 10. In this scene from the first Shrek movie, we can see the bear family being trapped by Lord Farquaad's soldiers. Daddy Bear and Mama Bear are trapped together while Baby Bear is in a smaller cage, moaning about the situation. Paying more attention, you will notice that Mama Bear has a pink bow on her head. Remember that for later. Going forward with the movie, Daddy Bear and Baby Bear are finally free, even though Baby Bear is still crying. But where is Mama Bear?
When you're traveling at night, you never really know what you'll come across. It could be dangerous out there, or you could walk into the wrong place. This person walked into a gas station just to notice the attendant was inebriated and doubled over themselves.
Sir? Hello?
It takes a few moments before the other person comes to, groggy and out of it.
Hey. You alright?
Eventually, a little out of it, the attendant checks them out. The rest of the clip shows a man who's not entirely all there, struggling to stay up. Thankfully, they woke him up before he stayed out too long. There were about 1,000 different ways this could have gone wrong.
Thank you very much, my man. Have yourself a good night.
Horrifying humanoid creatures caught on camera. In this creepy video, the man taking the video appears to be searching for his friend in a dark warehouse of some sort. As he is looking, he is surprised when he sees an inhuman face staring at him from behind some objects. the face turns to look at him. The being has a grayish-white complexion and red eyes. Disturbing things found by YouTubers. In this 2017 video, the YouTuber Dom Soto is recording a normal vlog in his bedroom when a noise coming from the door catches his attention. As he approaches the door, a full-grown man in a mask can be seen knocking insistently, saying he's his biggest fan.
But I'm your biggest fan.
Scared, the YouTuber orders the stranger to leave his property immediately, but the man keeps insisting on entering the house. After a while, the man finally leaves, only to come back shortly after, knocking on another door of the house. Disturbing things caught on dashcam. In this 2015 dashcam footage, a man is driving his car in a desolate field in Saudi Arabia when he slowly approaches a weird white figure who's holding a cane. As he moves forward, the figure starts limping into his vehicle and the man shrieks the figure to back up. In the end, the figure keeps walking through the driver as he completely freaks out, and there is no clue on what the figure actually was. I bet you don't know the real reason why McDonald's got rid of Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald was a huge part of the fast food chain's existence before the 2010s. However, in 2016, a lot of news began to spread regarding sightings of people disguised as scary clowns. The clowns were chasing cars, lurking around neighborhoods at night, and otherwise just being real creeps. This wasn't simply something that was causing a stir on the internet. Major media outlets were reporting on the terrorizing clowns. It was pretty clear that the creepy clowns were more trouble than McDonald's wanted to deal with, and it was at that point that Ronald McDonald began to slowly disappear. Historical facts you will instantly regret learning, Part 6. Mathematician Kurt Gödel developed an obsessive fear of being poisoned and refused to eat food prepared by anyone but his wife, so when she died, he starved himself to death. Convicted serial killer Troy Leon Gregg escaped prison the night before his execution, only to be killed in a bar fight that same night. The reason why fridge doors are magnetic is that when they could be only opened from the outside, children would often get trapped inside with tragic consequences. How to traumatize children. In this scene from the 1985 comedy Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the protagonist Pee-wee is trying to get a ride from someone in order to reach Texas. After a while, a big truck stops right in front of him and Pee-wee jumps in, thanking the driver, an old scary woman. Pee-wee drops a comment about the dark night and the woman replies by saying that,
"On this very night, 10 years ago, I saw the worst accident I ever seen."
Pee-wee looks quite scared of the woman's story and suddenly, this happens.
And when they finally pulled the driver's body, it looked like this.
Disturbing things found in the forest. In this 2009 viral clip, a man and his dog are out for a walk in the Russian woods during a cold winter day. All of a sudden, the dog seems to notice something strange in the distance and starts running in that direction. His owner follows him through the bushes, revealing a little girl in a red coat suspended in midair, as a woman watches her. The man watches for a moment, but as soon as the two become aware of his presence, they run away into the forest. This is what humans would have to look like in order to survive a car crash. The Australian government teamed up with a sculptor, trauma surgeon, and engineer for a road safety campaign and created Graham, who has no neck, knees that bend in all directions, and extra fat to protect the eats, nose, head, and ribs from fatal injury. Disturbing moments caught on live TV. In this 2013 live footage, a news reporter is getting ready to go live when an elderly local man wanders into the frame. The two exchange polite greetings when suddenly, the reporter can be seen thoughtful and starts to insistently look over the old man, as if he recognizes him from somewhere. As it turned out, the old man who had just passed them by was the same person on whom they were about to file a missing person live report.
Been looking for you for a while. You heard or anything?
He had a memory problem and had wandered away in the wilderness overnight, fortunately finding somehow his way back. Controversial cartoon episodes that were banned. In this 1992 banned episode of Pingu, Pingu and his friends are doing some tricks on skates, when Pingu's girlfriend Pingy comes along. She asks Pingu to go skating with her, but Pingu's friends want him to stay with them. Pingu is not sure what to do, but in the end, he sneaks away to join Pingy. The two start skating together while trying to have their first kiss, but Pingu's friends keep interrupting them. In the end, Pingu and Pingy finally manage to have their first kiss, which is the reason why the episode was banned. In 1923, a jockey named Frank Hayes suffered a fatal heart attack in the midst of a race. His horse ended up crossing the finish line first, with Hayes still on its back, making him the only jockey known to have won a race after death.
A woman named Chrissy is making a vlog at the store, which is typical for her channel. The video is going smoothly when she eventually realizes that she's being stalked by someone she doesn't know. Much like the other stories on this list, Chrissy does her best not to escalate the situation, which is always the safest thing to do in a situation like this. If you try to confront the stranger head-on, you may find yourself in more danger than you could have anticipated. At one point, however, the stranger even attempted to enter Chrissy's vehicle, but was thankfully unable to do so.
You're not getting in my car. You tripping. Nope, you're not getting in my car. I unlocked my door, but you rushed to my passenger. You're not getting in my car. Sorry.
Chrissy was able to go home and get to safety, but was obviously terrified because of the situation she found herself in. Let's hope this terrifying stranger isn't still roaming the streets, looking for his next victim.
How to traumatize children. In a 2006 episode of Mr. Meaty, Parker finds out that food is inexplicably disappearing from his hands right before he can even eat it. Worried about the situation, Josh decides to record a slow-motion video of Parker trying to eat, revealing that an enormous creepy tapeworm is now living inside of his stomach. Luckily, the two friends manage to get the worm outside Parker's stomach and, shortly after, an Australian man comes up, asking to buy the worm for a zoo. The boys agree, they hand it over to him, and then this happens. Disturbing moments caught at McDonald's. This woman, fed up with waiting for her food at a McDonald's, begins trashing the store and throwing things at the staff behind the counter. She starts by simply looking fed up before the clip cuts, and she comes in from off camera. She throws a bucket, containers, wet floor signs, and more. All we can see are other guests trying to get away from her and the employees trying to scramble out of the line of fire. Disturbing things caught on GoPro camera. In this 2015 GoPro footage, a group of explorers is entering what they think is an abandoned building in the middle of nowhere. They look around for a while, searching for interesting items when all of a sudden, two men shouting can be seen approaching the guys. The group tries to explain to them that they thought the building was abandoned, to which the two men respond that it isn't, blocking the group from leaving.
No, this is not abandoned. Do you see the fences? Do you see the property structures around?
Finally, the men let the guys pass, telling them to leave and never come back. Disturbing things caught by YouTubers. In this 2019 video, two girls are in the middle of a general vlog, going to the mall to take some photos. While shopping, they soon realize that a man had been following and watching them all time, staying just a few feet away from them but always within view.
He was looking at you crazy.
The girls try to ditch the man but unfortunately, they confirm that he's actively going everywhere they go, even going as far as to pretend he's shopping around.
That is crazy. What? He's pretending if he just was her. Yeah.
Scared, they decide to leave the stores and while the guy still follows them, one of the girls loudly records him.
He's literally following us.
Which seems to spook him enough that they're finally able to get away. Disturbing things found by YouTubers. In this 2021 YouTube video, this YouTuber and his friend are vlogging their camping experience in the countryside of Boxhill. Everything proceeds smoothly. They can be seen setting things up for the night, having dinner together, and finally, going to sleep each one on his truck. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, the YouTuber can be seen waking up terrified. Disturbing things caught in churches. This 2017 video shows a French church in the middle of a seemingly normal Christian celebration. In the center of the church, we can see three priests, one of whom is busy leading the celebration, consecrating the Eucharist. However, as he prays and places his hands over the host, something very strange happens in front of everyone's eyes. The bread seems to inexplicably levitate for a while under the priest's hands.